Head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, depending on where you are. Hi, Brandy. Hi, BR. I'm Maxi Doodle. Dolly Bear. Hi, Cool Gamer. Angela. Tracy. Fine Summer's Truth. Hi, Jane Doe. Hi, Angelina. Baby Girl. Diana. Mellow77. Shamita. Hi, Minnie Mo. Commander Ender Turkey. I Make It So. 9 for 9 Sherry. Moonvale. Sorry I'm late, you guys. Hi, Sweet Caroline. I was running behind from school pickup, so it took me a little longer to get home than I thought it would. Hi, Ellie. You like the sign? Which one? I know I tried. There's a lot of them. I know. Hi, Donna. KW10. Max 2002. I'm Mitch. Simply E. Hey, Florida Bass Fishing. Happy having you here. No better intro out there. I agree. Christine does magic. Hi, Peppermint Tea. Rainbow Mom. That's not my name. The well-behaved one. Oh yeah, I love that sign. My mom's like, that's so fitting for you. Hi, City Girls Glam. Nightbird, a Raspberry Dazzle, and Biscuits and Crazy. Heather Bratt. Hi, PJ, Tara, Donna. Yeah, I'm Misty. The Salty Sea. Hi, Angie, baby. And Karen. I think I've said some of you guys twice. Okay, so I think you guys all have probably heard that the search warrant affidavit for Brian Koberger's apartment was released. It is quite lengthy. So we're going to go through it. I don't know how much we'll read like verbatim, but we're definitely going to go through it. And from what I've only skimmed it, so I haven't actually read through the whole thing in its entirety myself. So we're going to do that part together. But from what I see, there is a lot that they went in there looking for, and then there's a whole list of basically what they did take. So there was info released about his apartment. Yep. Yeah, it's 49 pages. I'm glad that they were unsealed. I'm glad that they actually included what they actually took. A lot of the times when they release like a search warrant, they're just going to release like what they went in there and looked for. This one, they actually did include what they ended up taking from the apartment. There was an article that was put out this morning, New York Post, maybe, don't quote me. But it said that they didn't take anything from his office. And I thought that was interesting because if you remember right when they had completed all the search warrants, they actually had said that they took items from each location that they served a search warrant on. So I was like, that's interesting. Hi, Quinny. Yeah, get to the juicy parts. Well, I don't even know where the juicy parts are, so we'll try to get to the juicy parts. Hi, CB Kel. Hi, Jennifer. Let's see, Heather Bratt. Insane. I sure hope that what they collected connects him to these so these families can receive justice. Yeah, we don't even know because it's not processed according. I mean, it's probably processed at this point, but at the time of this, it wasn't processed. Oh, baby girl, that's like that video. It's not in the original container. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Mallory, my love. Hi, Jennifer. Long time no see. CDT, my love. I was just checking your channel. I was like, why don't I have any alerts from CDT? I probably still have it up on my computer. Hi, Inspector Gadget. Yeah, don't forget we still have the car and the Pennsylvania home. Yep. And whatever they collected from the trash. Hi, Tracy. Did I say hi to Tracy? Okay. Hi, everybody. If I missed you, I really am sorry. CDT's been hibernating. Yeah, you know, it's that time of year. It's time to hibernate. Okay, so we'll get to... I need my sweatshirt. I'm like freezing. So we'll just get to it. Hi, Jaded Empath. Oh, it would be great if Murphy can speak. Speaking of Murphy, before we get started on that, I want to share this with you guys. Hold on. And I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but I don't care. I'm going to show it anyway. Because if you haven't seen it, I am so happy that Jack D decided to create an Instagram account for Murphy. So I'm going to show you a couple from the Instagram, just because one, you know, I'm like an animal fanatic, so I want to watch it anyway. But it's so heartwarming and heart-wrenching. It's heartwarming and heart-wrenching. It just brings out all the emotions. So I'm going to show that. I'm going to show that to you guys, though. Bring that over here. But I love that he decided to, even after the world was so mean to him, and he's gone through this major trauma of losing Kaylee, he still decided to do that and share pictures of Kaylee and videos and pictures of Murphy with everybody. Like, I don't know, that just speaks volumes to me. No, T, don't make us cry. There's no crying. No crying. I just love that he did it. It just like shows Murphy's out there like living life and all the fun stuff that Murphy's doing and has done and the times that he spent with his mommy. I just thought it was cute. And look at the puppies, just so cute. And I thought he was a Labradoodle, but I guess he's a Golden Doodle. So just look how cute that is. I know, Mallory, you did cry. You were in there, you were like, I'm all up in my feelings. No, it's just... Everybody's like, thank you for sharing Murphy with us. He's eating a chip. Murphy just had his birthday at the, what was it, December 27th? He turned 1. He's just so cute. Yeah, Kleenex required. High crimes have consequences. Texas Angel, I don't know if I said I'm not crying, you're crying. No. Just living the dog life. This one had a few. I'll go through those real quick. Look at how pretty she was. True crime crazy. There's a foreign liquid in my eye. I don't know what's happening. Don't know what's happening. And then he just puts like see, now I'm gonna actually get emotional, so I'm gonna have to leave this. But he puts like the cutest little things. He's like, I could really use a lazy day with my mama. Okay, enough of that. If you guys aren't following him on following Murphy on Instagram, I suggest that you do. Even if it is a little hard to do, it's still, I don't know, totally worth it in my opinion. Okay. Get it out of there. Get it out of there. Yeah, I'm leaking. I know. I'm leaking. Hi, Tamara. Yeah, after everything that kid's gone through, just like, I'm sure it's helping for him too, where he gets, he has a spot that he gets to post pictures of her that's not like his account, and Murphy is, something that he shared with her. So yeah, see, okay, I can't talk about it anymore. You guys are gonna get me all sad. They're gonna get me all sad. Hi, forget me not. Yeah, Murphy. There's Shamita put the link if you'd like to follow Murphy. Okay. I'm gonna take a drink real quick because I know there's gonna be a lot of reading. Good old Dr. Pepper. Hi, Melmac. Raspberry Dazzle. This will be healing for him. I think so too. Lucia. So this is the beginning of this is going to be. Can you guys see that? Okay, I think you can. Yeah. The beginning of this is basically them explaining what they're doing. So even the first couple pages is them just telling us that this was sealed, and now this was the motion to unseal it, and they're unsealing it. So that's the gist of it. I'm not going to sit here and go through all the legality parts of this whole thing. There is a channel that will do that, and it's called The Lawyer You Know. And if you guys are familiar with him, he's a great channel. I like that channel. And then there's Emily D. Baker, who does a great job. Those are my two faves. Rakita Law does a good job, but I don't think he's actually done anything with this case. Hi, Tiffany. He's so precious, sweet and sleuthy. Okay, so then this is basically just explaining that the information is from Washington because of the fact that obviously he lived in Washington. Remind me of this suitcase. No, I do not. I love my Dr. Pepper. I can't live without it. So this is basically them just saying, like, this is all coming from Washington because of the fact that he lived in Washington and worked in Washington at the time of the crimes. So pretty basic. Let's see. The basis. So the Washington State Constitution recognizes that victims of crimes have rights and states that the effective law, blah, blah, blah. As I said, I don't want to sit here and go through all the law parts of it. The basis for this motion is there are two surviving victims, witnesses of a now notorious and much publicized murder burglary in Moscow, Idaho, whose full names are listed in the search warrant and the search warrant application. So to clarify, if you guys remember, this was kind of a point of contention because they had put out the articles stating that this was sealed due to, it could harm, either witnesses, victims, the families, law enforcement. But it was sealed on the 29th, which was before it was actually served, so that he wouldn't basically have a heads up. Like, he wouldn't know that they were coming. So then it was sealed until March 1st, but they've decided to unseal it at this point. Hi, Brian. Quinny. I won't disagree. Hi, Shelly. I was a bit upset that they didn't retract Jack's name. Okay, so I didn't even know they didn't do that. I haven't even seen that yet. It stated they wanted to protect others who were being accused, but not him. It stated they wanted to protect others who were being accused, but not him? It says that in here? Okay, like I said, I have not gone through the whole thing yet, so we'll see. We'll see. Somebody did tell me they didn't retract somebody's phone number, but I don't even know whose or where it is. Okay. I'm gonna bring this over here just because so I might not look, my neck isn't like strained, or I'm reading it over there. Oh shoot, messed that all up, didn't I? I don't want to be just looking this direction. All of this is new info to you? Yeah, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I skimmed it, but then it literally dropped a few, like, right before I had to start school pickup for the kids. So I was like, well, let's schedule a live and go over it together. Okay. Well, if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm looking at this screen, but if I put it on this screen, it covers you guys, but if I have it over here, I can still see chat. So if I'm looking over here, just know I'm just reading the screen. Hi, Colorado Mountain Life. So I'm not ignoring you guys, I promise, or just like looking off into the universe. Okay, so recognizes the victims. We already read through that, right? Yeah, okay. Here we are. The warrants were issued and served in Washington State because a suspect in the crimes resided and worked here during the times of the murders. These warrants and associated applications were sealed due to the sensitive nature of the investigation. Since then, an extensive probable cause affidavit has been unsealed in Latah County, Idaho, which has alleviated much of the need for sealing here in Washington. But the documents filed in Latah County have not disclosed the surviving victims' names, only their initials. These victims should have the level of protection that can be provided by having their initials substituted for their full names in the search warrants, which became publicly available by this court. Okay, so this is just talking about the retractions that are needed then. Anyone present when the motion is made must have the opportunity to object to the closure. The court must wait. Okay, this is just them saying that they're going to change out. They're going to change out the names of the surviving roommates to initials. Okay. This one is, I think this is where we're going to get started. Okay. Oh, they didn't retract the ME's name? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, so that in that motion, they only ask for the surviving roommates to be have their information redacted because that's who was redacted in the probable cause affidavit. So, hi ATS, hi Elizabeth. Okay. So upon the sworn complaint made before me, there is probable cause to believe that the crime of murder in the first degree and burglary per Idaho code has been committed in Idaho, and that evidence of that and those or contraband, the fruits of the crime, or things otherwise criminally possessed, or weapons or other things by means of which a crime has been committed or reasonably appears to be committed, is concealed in or on certain premises. In making this determination, this court did not consider the information in the supplemental disclosure regarding the DNA test as evidence supporting the existence of probable cause. The court also does not consider the information in the supplemental disclosure to be exculpatory. That's it. Okay. So they did not consider the DNA test, the supplemental DNA test, and they did not deem that the supplemental disclosure to be exculpatory. Okay, so it basically was irrelevant to what they wanted to do here. You have to search within 10 days. This is your address, which we knew as address G201. Valley Road is a 3-story multi-occupant building in Pullman, Washington, which is tan and white in color. Okay, the door G201 is located on the east side of the story landing and is the second story landing and is designated by numbers 201 on the door. The door is white with a swinging screen door on the outside of the main door to the residence. This is like when you go into surgery and they have to like mark like what appendage they're going to do surgery on so that they don't mess it up. That's literally this. They're making sure that they get the right door. Let me see. They always release more than what I think they would, like what was seized from the apartment. Yeah, I was actually surprised they added that too. Okay. Let's see. Seize if located. So this is telling us everything that they're allowed to go in there and look for. So they have a list. They're writing out to the judge saying, okay, this is what we're going to go in and look for. That's all they're allowed to go in and look for. They can't look for other things unless those things are seen. This document is, no, it's 49 pages, but I mean, we're already on 7, so it shouldn't take that long unless they can see these other things, but it's probably very broad. So they can kind of look through everything, but it's, if there was something in particular that wasn't available to them while they were in there, they would have to get another search warrant or in a supplemental added one. 49. Yeah. Okay. So this is just for the apartment. This is just for his apartment. And right now we're not going over what they found. We're going over what they're requesting to go in and look for. Okay. So seize if located evidence of the above listed crimes, including blood or other bodily fluid or human tissue or skin cells or items with blood or other bodily fluid or human tissue or skin cells on the items. 2, knives, sheaths, or other sharp tools, including any dagger, dirk, or sword, and any written indicia of ownership of the same. including sales receipts. Okay, so basically they want to take anything that has, they take his toothbrush, they take his hairbrush, they take tissues, they take like, you know, toilet paper, anything that could have his, anything that has to do with him, dirty cups, his regular cups, you know, anything. Hi, infamous truth teller. So any images. Okay, so then the next one is obviously pretty self-explanatory. Anything that has a sharp item. I think it's interesting that they also include the if there's anything about the ownership of a knife or sharp object, they are allowed to take, including sales receipts, to prove like if he did get rid of the weapon. Any images, whether digital or on paper or any other format, which show Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xander Kernodle, Madison Mogan, BF, and or DM, and or the house at 1122 and or the surrounding neighborhood. Okay, so any pictures of all of them or any of them. Clothing, including but not limited to dark shirts, dark pants, masks, shoes with diamond pattern sole. That would be your Vans shoes, right? That's interesting too. Trace evidence including DNA from blood or skin cells or other source, footprints, fingerprints, hair, whether human or animal, dog. Looking for something to do with Murphy. Data compilations, whether digital, electronic, or on paper or other format, showing an interest in or planning of murder, of violent assault, stabbing, and or cutting of people. And data compilations showing details of the 1122 King Road house, its location, and or any information about the victims and the surviving roommates, and data compilations showing the location of Brian Koberger or the cell phone with his phone number. Okay, maybe that's the phone number that's not redacted. I mean, who cares? It's that phone number is done now anyway. On November 13th. Okay, so they're looking for anything, basically his receipts, his digital evidence, like he was signed into Facebook or whatever, anything to do with the house, the victims, the surviving roommates, and him on digital evidence, which would be his phone, including where he was doing it, Wi-Fi logs and data, metadata associated with the photos, social media posts or applications on cell phones or computer towers, laptops, tablets, as an example, but not intended to be an exclusive list of data compilations being sought, ledgers, papers, lists, books, notes, letters, calendars, address books, contact lists, diaries, tapes, photographs, videos, emails, text messages, social media post messages, and metadata associated therewith. Okay, basically anything that they could find digitally. Gotcha. Okay, see how you guys are doing over here. I'm freezing. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Anna. Let's see. Scary to think what was in his apartment. I know. Is there information that was redacted in the affidavit and search warrant? From what I can tell, the only thing that they motioned to have redacted was the surviving roommates' names. It doesn't look like anything else is redacted. And it's mostly due to what was intentionally redacted from the probable cause affidavit. They went through and made sure that that was actually redacted from here as well. Hi, Miss K. Hi, Jax. Hi, Hybrid Pisces. This case is enthralling and exhausting. Yes, I cannot agree with you more. I cannot agree with you more. It's freaking nuts. They'll probably take apart the sink drain pipe. Do you think they do that? They could, if they had reason to believe. If they, well, one, they could put it in here. They could say that they want to get, and I don't know if we've gotten there yet. So they could go in and say, we want to look in all the drains and see what's there. If they put that in there, they can. If they see something, so say they're searching the bathroom and that's not in here, and they're searching the bathroom and they see a hair sticking out of the pipe, that would give them their own probable cause to be able to search inside the pipe. Does that make sense? So it's like you kind of have to have like in the steps. Texas Angel, yeah, there's still stuff that's not being shown. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's still stuff that's being held back. Sorry about the caps lock. I forgot to take it off. No worries. Oh, Hybrid Pisces. Okay, go mod. We'll see you soon. Florida Bass Fishing. Was there any evidence found relating to the victims? So there is a list of the items that they did take, but they do not actually, they have not been tested at the time of this document. So we don't have any results from what they found. We have what they potentially found, or what they found and could potentially be tied to the crime scene. NorCal Jim. Hi, Miss K. Okay, Ava, they specify it somewhere, not the pipe, but anywhere skin cells may be. Don't remember the wording. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so they kind of just try to cover their bases in some broad stuff, which is, I think, why we're seeing all these different different sections that have, here's your data compilations, here's your, here's all your paper, forms of communication and note taking. Here's your electronic, digital devices or digital storage devices. So now you're covering CDs and thumb drives. There you go. That's already or external hard drives. This includes any device that may contain evidence of other accounts associated with this device, including email addresses, social media accounts. We saw this with the Delphi case. Social media accounts, messaging app accounts, and other accounts that may be accessed through the digital device that will aid in determining the possessor or user of the device. So this is there any other type of device there? iPads, any tablets, the laptops, the burner phones, anything along those lines that he could have actually used to store or keep any of those pieces of information. Evidence of the use of the device to conduct internet searches relating to a review of other murders or violent assault, stabbing, and or cutting of people, as well as how to avoid detection after the commission of such crimes. This is problematic for anybody in true crime. I'll just tell you that right now. Those searches right there, that's a problem, especially when we're looking at cases like this. See, if they don't ask for it here, it could be thrown out as evidence, so they have to repeatedly cover all their bases, right? So, and the only way they can add something to it is if they actually see something there. So, like, I'm searching right here, and all of a sudden I see something over here that I now need. It's, if I can prove that it's actual evidence in this case, I can take it as probable cause. If I think it might be, but I'm unsure, then I have to add it to my search warrant. Okay, evidence in these devices conduct internet searches. Really, okay, we did that part. Yeah. Details of the 1122 King Road house, its location, neighborhood, and or information about one or more of the victims, Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, Maddie, or the surviving roommates. Information that can be used to calculate the position of the device between the above dates, including location data, GPS satellite data, GPS coordinates for routes, destination queries between the above listed dates, app data or usage information, and related location information, IP logs or similar internet connection information, and images created, accessed, or modified between the above listed dates together with their metadata and EXIF tags. Okay. Evidence of the identity of the person in possession of the device on or about any times that items of evidentiary value located pursuant to this warrant were created, modified, accessed, or otherwise manipulated. Such evidence may be found in digital communications, photos and video and associated metadata, IP logs, documents, social media activity, and similar data. All passwords, phrases, codes, patterns, fingerprints, and or user names to operate any such device. And we're still, this is all in the tech stuff still. Indica of residence in or ownership or possession of the premises and any of the above items, including mail, receipts, identification, bills, rental agreements, licensing documents, and other personal property whose owner, possessor may be readily determined. Okay, so this is basically just saying, like, if there's any mail or anything like that around, any of his rental agreement, anything that identifies that this is his place of living, so they can tie, cover the bases. This is Brian Koberger. This is Brian Koberger's apartment. We know this is Brian Koberger's apartment because we have XYZ that shows it's his apartment. Now we have these devices that were located inside of his apartment that only he has access to, or, only him and this other person have access to, but only his fingerprints are on, or so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Okay, assistance from any local law enforcement, state of Idaho, or the federal government, or any technical specialist associated with or employed by or contracted with such law enforcement agencies, including but not limited to Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police. That's just saying who has authorization to do any of this. Assistance from the technical specialist. Okay. Promptly return this warrant to me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're good there. So that covers all of his tech stuff. Let's see. Let's take a break real quick. Type on my last comment. It wasn't a trial, not try me. And voice text have a touch and go relationship. Can a search warrant in Washington at BK's apartment? Yep. Let me scroll up here. Yep, we're just covering, this is the search warrant for his apartment in Washington. All right, let me see. They really should be social butterfly. I know. This is the devastation that our world. God, I can't get my dang jacket on. What the heck happened to my sleeve? There it is. Okay. Yeah, if the FBI looked at my search history, etc., they would think I'm a killer. Yeah, I'm like, oh gosh, please don't ever look at that. I think that somebody that's like us, that's, covers true crime or is into true crime, it's tough because you have like this guy who's going for his PhD in criminology, and he's going to have searches that have to do with crime. So that's not going to work in the prosecution's favor. Okay, so let's see. I, Don Daniels, Assistant Chief, WSU Police Department, declare that I have personal knowledge of the matters herein and or am relying on witness statements, information provided by my fellow officers, including fellow officers from the state of Idaho, reports and other material I have gathered in my investigation, and that I am competent to testify to the matters stated herein. On the basis of the following, I believe there is probable cause that Brian Koberger has committed the crimes of first-degree murder and burglary. Evidence of those crimes, weapons or other things by means of which a crime has been committed or reasonably appears about to be committed. Okay, is located in, on, or at or about the following described premises. Okay, so this is his apartment again. 3 stories, multiple same thing. Going over that it is. I am a police officer in Washington State University Police Department and have been so employed since July 20th, 1998. I attended and successfully completed the 440-hour Washington. Okay, this is her credentials. That's good. Okay, I'm not going to go over her credentials. I'll put the link in. If you guys haven't actually seen, if you guys want to actually like go through it yourself or print it, I know some people like to print it and highlight it and whatnot. If you guys want it, we'll put the link in for you too. So you guys can go through all the things that I'm kind of skipping. The person providing information. There's Sergeant Dustin Blaker. Sergeant Blaker's sworn statement is attached here to an Exhibit A and is hereby incorporated in this application for the search warrant. This is because they're going to be searching this premises. Other officers and witnesses are identified in Sergeant Blaker's sworn statement. Okay. So the investigation, I was contacted by Moscow police officers and asked to assist their investigation into the recent murder of 4 people in Moscow, Idaho. Sergeant Blaker of Moscow Police Department has developed probable cause to believe that a resident of Whitman County, Brian Koberger, committed the murders and burglary. I agree with Sergeant Blaker's statement that there is probable cause to believe that Koberger committed the murders and burglary, and that there is probable cause to believe that evidence of those crimes will be located in Koberger's apartment at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, G201 in Pullman. I am seeking this search warrant to search that apartment. The probable cause is described in detail in the attached exhibit. A sworn statement of Sergeant Blaker, which is hereby incorporated herein by this reference, just as if fully set forth here. Based on all the foregoing information, I believe that evidence is of the crimes is at the above location. Blah blah blah. We already did that. Okay, here we go. So now she's stating that we're looking for the same things. I'm not gonna reread it. So she's applying and literally stating the exact same parts. Evidence of other accounts. Looking to see if there's anything that appears different. Nope. In addition, I'm asking the court to authorize in the service of the search warrant. The use of the assistance from any law enforcement. Okay, so this is saying, hey, we need help from these other law enforcement agencies, and this is what they're going to do. Here's your supplemental disclosure regarding the DNA test. Okay. I have been informed by Detective Jr. Talbot, J.R. Talbot, of the Idaho State Police that on November 13th, a sheath was recovered at the King Road residence under or next to the body of Madison Mogan. The Idaho State Crime Lab obtained a male DNA profile from the sheath. This is also referred to in Sergeant Blaker's sworn statement, which is Exhibit A. This is, even though this is a lot of information that we already know, it's interesting because this is information also coming from the other law enforcement officers that were part of this. It's not, the probable cause affidavit was only from one law enforcement officer. So we're getting a look at the evidence in more of a rounded view, which I find interesting because one thing I've noticed right now, just even up to this, they are not mentioning that they believe that he's with anybody else. There's not even a hint that they're looking at anybody else. So this whole, like, does he have an accomplice kind of thing? This very much reads, they believe that he is the one. Otherwise, it would be a whole, like, we believe that he and an accomplice, or that potentially he and an accomplice. We believe that he is the sole person, and had, something along those lines. This right now is only focused on him. I mean, obviously they're not going to sit there and name all the other things, but typically you would see all the, the overall view. Okay, let's see. On December 27th, law enforcement agents and officers in Pennsylvania recovered trash that originated from the Koberger family residence. That trash was sent to the Idaho State Crime Lab for testing. On December 28th, 2022, the Idaho State Lab reported that a DNA profile was obtained from the trash. It was compared to the suspect's DNA profile. The lab personnel concluded that the source of the trash DNA profile was a male and was not being excluded as the biological father of the source of the suspect profile. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the biological father of the source of the suspect profile. Now, I want to talk about this because this has been a big deal since the probable cause affidavit came out. People are thinking that the dad's DNA was found on the sheath. That's not what happened. It's just confusing the way that they worded it. She actually words it better in this one. The DNA profile from the sheath was compared to a DNA profile taken from the trash. The trash DNA is 99.999% the paternal father of the suspect profile from the sheath. So it's not the dad's DNA on the sheath, because that's like, I see that in like every Facebook group. I've seen it on Facebook or on YouTube comments. I'm like, they're two different things. They're taking the trash. The trash is the dad. The dad could only be this. Brian can only have one dad. And that has to be that guy from that trash, and that's their trash. Okay, this information is being provided to the court pursuant to my duty and obligation to be fully candid with the court. I do not believe this information is exculpatory for the suspect. However, if the court believes it is exculpatory, then the court should consider the supplemental disclosure in its evaluation of the existence of probable cause or lack thereof. But I am specifically asking for the court to not consider this supplemental disclosure as evidence supporting the existence of probable cause. The reason for this request is that if the DNA test results are held inadmissible at some point, such a ruling would impact the finding of the probable cause for this warrant, so as long as this court is satisfied as to probable cause regardless of the DNA test result. That is very, very good that they put that in there. So what they're saying is, we have this DNA evidence, but we do not want you to use that as probable cause to get into the apartment. And I'm pretty sure you guys can probably figure out exactly why. Elizabeth, they basically give them a paternity test. Yeah. So, I mean, at least they know that they are father and son at this point. So they do not want the DNA test included, because if anything happens in court where that DNA test is thrown out, that automatically includes every single item of evidence they found in his apartment. because they're going to, if they use the DNA to get the search warrant, the judge would say, DNA's gone. Everything that goes along with the DNA is gone. That's it. And that means anything they found in there would be out. So she's saying you can use it if you think it's necessary, but we're not asking you to, because we feel like we have enough without it. And we know that if it gets thrown out, we're screwed. And everything we find in that apartment's done. Hi, Alex. Princess Megan Elsa. Hi, water-loving dog. And you're very welcome. Like I said, I'm by no means an expert. I am not a lawyer. I've not done that. I'm not like the ones that have practiced law in court forever. I see what I see on here, and just from what I've learned, that would be cray-cray. Yeah, you do not want them to do that. All right, let's see. Yes, that's fine. I'm specifically asking the court not to consider this. All right, so there's her statement. Okay, so here's the statement of Dustin Blaker. And this is who, let me go back that way, because I thought it was J.R. Talbot. I've been informed by J.R. Talbot. Where did Blaker come in? I remember that. I remember her saying that somewhere. All right, I'll look at that later. I just like to tie in who's talking about what. Okay, so this is the statement of Dustin Blaker. The below information is provided by Sergeant Dustin Blaker. I am duly appointed and qualified an acting peace officer within the county of Latah, state of Idaho. I am employed by Moscow Police Department in the official capacity or position of a sergeant, and I have been a trained and qualified peace officer for 22 years. I attended this, and this is his credentials during my 16 years, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. He's got some good credentials. We'll go on. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 4 p.m., Moscow Police Department, Brett Payne and I responded to, maybe that's why I know his name, because he's the one that shows up with Payne. And I responded to 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho. Hereafter, the King Road residents to assist with scene security and processing of a crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin the processing of the scene. MPD Officer Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. See, this is one of those things that's going to be interesting, because this is another view besides what we saw in the probable cause affidavit. Officer Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the 2nd floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings in the room was Xana Kernodle's, hereafter Kernodle's room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin, hereafter Chapin. Chapin was also deceased with wounds later determined. The autopsy report provided by Spokane County Medical Examiner Veen. Oh yeah, so they didn't retract her name. Dated December 15th. December 15th? Is that a typo? Is that a typo? But it wouldn't take a month for them to do his autopsy. It's got to be a typo. Yeah, so I know people are talking about. So I just graduated actually with my bachelor's in criminal justice, criminology, with a minor in forensic studies. So that's why I'm not a practice person. I have not been out into the work field. I don't have the years of experience. So if I was writing up my qualifications, I don't have all of that. But I do know a little something. I got pretty good grades. I mean, I passed, right? So let's see. Lex Luthor, good question. Will the coroner in the case be testifying as credible, since she was interviewed twice and gave 2 very differing statements, and also made a statement that all victims were asleep in their beds? Okay, so I'll give you my opinion on this. My opinion is the coroner will testify. The coroner is the one that was on the scene to determine that they weren't alive, right? That's really all she's doing, is saying, yes, this person is deceased. And she took part in and witnessed the medical examiner doing the autopsies. She did not do the autopsies herself. Elizabeth, let's see. Yes, thank you. Talks about the scene, Sally, but some are thinking it's the exact same and missing that. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, I'm hoping we can see a little bit of a different perspective. Is that what you mean? Oh, shoot. I'm going to mute real quick. My son's calling me. Hold on. Okay, my husband's picking him up from school, but he called me to find out where I am. Okay, let's see. What was I saying? I was answering a question. Okay, coroner. So the coroner will testify. So the prosecution calls the coroner up, right? And they're like, okay, you arrived at the scene at what time? Or, you know, here's your credentials. This is who you are. This is what you do. And the prosecution's asking the coroner, okay, what time did you arrive there? What did you see? Whatever. So the prosecution doesn't bring up the fact that she did any of these interviews. Well, they shouldn't. If they do, that's on them. But you don't have to bring any of that up. Now, if the defense comes up and questions her, they can only question her based on what the prosecution asked. So if the prosecution does not bring up anything about the interviews or what was said in the interviews, then they can try to trip her. The defense can try to trip her up to get her to say something about it and get it put into court. Other than that, if they can only ask the questions that are based on what the prosecutor asked, unless they decide to call her as a witness of their own, which would be tricky if she's on the witness list for the prosecution. Does that make sense? So, IBG. Aw, CB Kel, thank you. I got my bachelor's in badass. I tried to do a little mini graduation party online. Yeah, so she basically just pronounces them deceased. She just goes in and says, yes, these people are not alive, and this is the time of death that I'm going to say. That's it. And then they determine the actual time of death based on the autopsy. Thank you, Sundown Farms. I haven't seen anything different in this one than the first one you got a hold of. Okay, so Heather Brad, are you thinking this is typed very similar to Payne's? Because what I did notice one thing. I did notice one thing that is already different, if I remember correctly, and I'll probably have to go back and compare. But didn't Payne go to the third floor and go into Maddie's room first? More importantly, you know how to explain what you know, these things in terms that we can understand at great skill. Sorry if I'm being too... No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. That might be because I don't have all the terminologies down from living in a courtroom for 20 years. I wonder if Idaho has the felony murder law where if anyone is involved in the commission of a crime and someone dies, they get charged. I don't know any state that doesn't have that. Is there a state that doesn't have felony murder or a version of it? Let's see. Oh, Mellow7, thank you for helping me understand the lingo. I'll help you as best as I can. Hi, Kelly searches for answers. Wonder why she'd say they all died in their beds. Well, so she was a walking contradiction. So she's overall, she's not a good witness. But at this point, they all lied to us. I mean, let's be real. They all lied to us about different facts of different things because they didn't want the information out there. So, and because they were lying, none of them could get on the same page. So then they're all lying about different things, which if you remember the beginning of this case was just a cluster F because they couldn't lie about the same stuff. So then we were getting different stories every which way. She said not all of them died in their respective beds. She said all of them died while they were sleeping. Not all of them died necessarily while they were sleeping. Some had defensive wounds. Only Xana had defensive wounds. She was all over the place. But then, I mean, you got to think they also got mad at the prosecutor when the prosecutor said that what did he say? Something about that he wasn't sure if the house was the target, or he didn't. Oh wait, I think he said something about that he didn't think that there was a person that was the target, that he thought it was the house. I don't know. He said something, I think it was to Brian, and then they got all pissed off at him too. So, all right, let's see. Let's go back in here and see where we're at. Okay. Did anybody? Yeah, BR the star. Fire sticks. Does anybody remember I can pull it up. I'll pull it up after. The probable cause, I'm almost positive that Payne went to the 3rd floor first. That's gonna bug me now. I'm gonna look at it. I'll look at it when we're done. Okay, let's see. So door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body later identified. Okay, so we did that one already. There was a male. This has got to be a typo. I cannot imagine that his autopsy took till December 15th. And with sharp force injuries. They have the same change in verbiage that Payne had, though, too, from an edged weapon to a sharp force injury. That's interesting. I then followed Smith upstairs to the 3rd floor of the residence. The 3rd floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Gonsalves' hereafter Gonsalves' room. I later learned from the review of Officer Nunez's body camera there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. The dog belonged to Gonsalves and her ex-boyfriend Jack DeCoeur. I found out from Corporal Payne's interview with Jack DeCoeur on November 13th, 2022, that he and Gonsalves shared the dog. Officer Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the 3rd floor. The bathroom shared a wall with Madison Mogan's, hereafter Mogan, bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the 3rd floor. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. This still bothers me. They call it a single bed. And I cannot for the life of me figure out if they're saying it's a single bed because it's a twin, or if they're saying it's a single bed because there was only 1 bed in the room. You know what I mean? Okay. You guys, okay, so he did go to Payne went to Xana's room first too? Okay, all right. I was thinking that he went upstairs first. Why are they holding? Okay, so this is my thought, and this is pure just me saying it out loud of what I think. So if they were releasing evidence, right? And when the defense team came on, they stopped the cleaning of the house. They wanted to hold on to every piece of evidence that was still left. So then what happens is anything that the prosecution still has, they are now no longer allowed to release. Things that had already been released, it is what it is. It's already gone, right? So they could get them back. The defense could ask for certain items back. Other than that, what they want is every piece of evidence, anything that was removed from that house, if it's still in the possession of the prosecution or law enforcement, they want it sealed. And that's how it goes. So they obviously at that point, Ethan's stuff had not been released. Their vehicles had not been released, and now they get to keep them because the defense comes in and files motion saying, hey, we're not letting that go. Ellie, 44 states have the murder felony. Okay, felony murder. Okay, thank you. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, Social Butterfly. Yeah, he's supposed to be some trained kickboxer. Then why take the coward's way? Why be such a coward? Why go in there and try to unalive, I don't even know why I say unalive. Why go in there to try to murder multiple women in their sleep? You're such a tough guy. You couldn't even go into the house when they were awake. Why not? See, yeah, he's a weasel to me. Yep, single is a size, so it's like a twin bed. So you have a twin, a double. It's there's like long ones and then there's the shorter ones. But a single is a size, but it could also be because they're saying that the 2 people were in the same room in a single bed, like an individual bed. I don't know. That I've wondered that though. Okay, so we're in Mogan's room, which was situated in the southeast corner. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed. in the single bed in the room. See, both Gonsalves and Mogan were deceased with visible stab wounds. I was later advised by ISP investigators they located a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side when viewed from the door. The sheath was later processed and had Kabar, USMC, and the United States Marine Corps' Eagle Globe and anchor insignia stamped on it. This all sounds very much verbatim of what the probable cause said. I do remember this. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA on the left on the button snap of the knife sheath. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow police officers. Two of the interviews included BF and DM. They were both inside the residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates. BF was located on the east side of the first floor. Based on numerous interviews with MPD, ISP, and FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence, I have learned the following. On the evening of November 12th, Chapin and Kernodle are seen by BF at the Sigma Chi house. This is like verbatim right here. Also stated that Chapin did not live in the King Road residence, was a guest of Kernodle. Gonsalves and Mogan were at a local bar, the Corner Club. In Moscow, Gonsalves and Mogan can be seen on video footage. This is all literally verbatim. A private party that drove them home, 156. DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. And so this was interesting too, because they have it where Bethany actually sees Ethan and Xana at the fraternity at 1:45, or like leaving at 1:45 basically. But originally they told us that both Dylan and Bethany were home by 1 o'clock and in bed. Remember? Hi, Sky. Hi, Rescue Mom. We say single bed. Do you say single bed in Australia as a twin, as for like a twin, like a small bed, or do you say it as like if there's only one bed in a room? Yeah, they would all be. They were all frozen. So basically, if it was still there, they get to keep the evidence. They don't say if Ethan was in a bed. They just say he was in that room. Let me see. He meant in the same bed. Yeah, see, I go back and forth, Max. I go back and forth. Okay, let me go back over. We know this is all. This is like I think they just copy and pasted each other at this point. Well, both made statements during the interviews that they're home by 2 and sleep, or at least in their respective rooms by 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. DM stated that she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the south side of the second floor. She stated she awoke at 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonsalves was playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms. A short time later, she heard who she thought was Gonsalves say something to the effect of "There's someone here." A review of the records obtained from the forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could also have been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at 4:12. Okay, I'm going to skip some of this because we know this story. They do the video canvas, the camera footage. This is when they see him coming and going and doing 3-point turns. Can see entering the area the fourth time at 4:04, leaving at 4:20 at a high rate of speed. Okay, 5:25, white sedan. Okay, this is now just all of his stuff. This is literally just copy and pasted into here. It's all his records from what they say about his car on surveillance and his phone records. They got the phone data. Sorry, I'm just trying to find anything that is actually newer information that was released in this. Right now, this is just the 19. So what was that one? That was 18 pages, right? It was 18 pages for the PCA, and this is 49, and it's got copy and paste of that is in here too. So. Okay, this is all. This is now this part here is the same of what was requested from the apartment. The password protected, stored unusual devices for the type of data, routers, printers, scanners, game consoles. Okay, so let me go back up. I might have missed it as I looked over. To date, we've not recovered the weapon. Okay, hold on. I went too far here. Let's see. The King Road residence contained a significant amount of blood from the victims, including spatter and cast-off blood stain patterns resulting from blood drops released from an object due to its motion, which, based on my training, makes it likely that this evidence was transferred to Koberger's person, clothing, or shoes. Based on the location of the suspect's vehicle and the 8458 phone immediately following the murders, it is probable that Koberger went home to his residence. At the time, it is likely that he still had blood or other trace evidence on his person's clothes or shoes, including skin cells or hair from the victims or from Gonsalves's dog. It is likely that some trace evidence was transferred to areas in his apartment through contact with the item worn during the attack. One likely location for the clothes, mask, shoes that he was wearing during the attack would be his residence. While I believe Koberger is visiting family in Pennsylvania over the current school break at WSU, I believe he intends to return for the start of the next semester. So I expect his belongings to still be in his residence. To date, we have not recovered the weapon used in the homicides, which would indicate that he took it with him from the scene. Based on my training, that weapon will likely contain trace evidence on it, such as blood or skin or hair from the crime scene. One likely location for the weapon or any sheath for the weapon would be his residence. Based on my training and experience, when someone plans an event or action, one likely location for doing so is in their residence or office. One would want to conduct such planning in One would not want to conduct such planning in public if they are planning a criminal act, and so it is even more likely that planning of a criminal act would be done in one's residence or office. So now we need to, if we're going to plan anything, we got to do it in public because they don't think that that's where it's going to be. Like, that's weird. Okay. Makes sense, I guess, though. All right, let me check on you guys. The app was still running at 4:12, even though she was already gone by then. We don't necessarily know that, but it's possible, yeah. It could replay the same video over and over again. But I mean, if we think about the timeline, if we go through the actual timeline, 4:04, he's on video in his vehicle. So we know that he's not in the house at 4:04. So even if you just give him a minute, we'll say, which I'm going to say that it probably takes a couple more than that because he's still in his car driving at 4:04. So you're talking 4:05, 4:06. Somebody on TikTok, I think it was like, no, it's 4:09. I'm like, I don't know how you're getting 4:09. Where did that come from? So if you go in, he's in the car at 4:04. He has to park the car. He has to get to the house. You're looking at least 4:05, 4:06, right? Approximately. Then if he goes in, now you have to determine if he goes upstairs first or if he goes into Xana's room first. That with blood evidence, they'll be able to do that. We don't know that yet, but they would be able to determine that based on whose blood was positioned in which rooms and which locations throughout the house and how it traveled with the weapon. So my thought, and this is just my thought from what I've read, is that he went upstairs first. This is where you hear from Dylan that she thinks that Murphy's, that Kaylee's playing with Murphy. So the dog's barking. She's hearing some type of footsteps or something happening, right? Can't really make out what it is. So she thinks she's playing with the dog, and it is what it is. Then if you pay attention more to the timeline, so at this point, now you have Xana, who had just picked up her DoorDash approximately 4. I hate that they use approximately 4 because is it before 4? Is it after 4? That matters. These minutes actually matter here. Is she in her room eating it and going through TikTok? Is she just standing in the kitchen eating it? Because they miss each other. You know what I mean? Did the guy come at 4:04 and drop off the food? Because we don't know it's exactly 4 o'clock, right? So is there, a crossover? Does Xana come out and get her food and go to the kitchen and eat it, and he's going up the stairs? We don't know that. But if you go with the way that Dylan says she heard different things, now she hears somebody's here. That's the second thing she hears. Somebody's here. That could be either Kaylee from upstairs, or it could be Xana from the kitchen bedroom area, somewhere right in that area, right? Now, if he comes down the stairs and he has heard Xana say this, or heard her walking, or heard the TikToks on the phone, you could assume that he's like, okay, wait a minute. Now this person knows I'm here, has probably seen me, and I need to go take care of that. Follows her towards her room. This matches up with now the timing of when Dylan hears, I don't remember the wording. I keep saying whimpering, but I'm not sure that that's actually the words they use. That cries, noises from Xana's room. The neighbor's camera picks up the thud and the whimpering, I think is how the terminology was in here. And that would be later. That's at approximately 4:17, right? So now he is back on camera at 4:20. So if you look at just the way that Dylan hears things and the way the camera picks up things, to me, he comes in the house, he goes upstairs. And I know people are probably not going to agree with me on this part, but I do believe that Kaylee was probably in her own room and heard him go into Maddie's room. The dog barking woke her up. She went to go check and see what was wrong, and she goes into Maddie's room, and that's where she ends up. I'm not one that thinks that she was asleep in Maddie's bed. I do think the single bed is a single bed. And I know that Kaylee's dad says you can see that her bed is made, but her bed is not made. Her bed is actually unmade, but she's not killed in her room. She's killed in Maddie's room, plus Murphy's in her room, which leads me to believe that she was asleep in her room or going to sleep in her room, heard something happening, got up, and went to check on Maddie. And then he goes downstairs and he hears or sees Xana and heads that direction. I don't think he ever saw Dylan. I think that he didn't pay attention. I think he could have hurt himself at some point during this and realized it and thought, I need to get the F out of here before I leave my blood everywhere. And he bolted. I also, if the speculation, and this is pure speculation, if the speculation is true, I think that his initial targets were the girls upstairs. I think that's who he could see the most, and that's who he had run into at some point or another, or whatever it is. That's who his infatuation was with. And I don't think that it mattered that other people were in the house, because I don't think he planned on killing anybody else. I think he was going upstairs, and that's how it was going to be. So, and like I said, that's just from me reading it based on the times that things are heard in the neighborhood. By 4:20, he's in the car speeding away. So we know, give him another 1 to 2 minutes, and we know at 4:17 there's noises caught on camera. You go with, we're going to go 4:06 to 4:18. 4:06 to 4:18 is kind of what I think the time frame was. I see, Dub. If we will ever know the truth. I think we will have a very good idea of the truth, but the only people who know the truth are, one, some can't testify, and the other one is not going to ever tell the truth. So, but I think we'll have a very good idea, because forensically they're going to be able to tell a very big story with this scene that, if this even goes to trial. I know people are like, he thinks he's too smart, but I still have, my gut tells me that he's still got something with his mom, and his mom is super anti-death penalty, that he's going to try to work out something so that he doesn't get the death penalty. That's my opinion. And I don't think that will happen until he realizes the amount of evidence that they actually have against him. Because right now, they're like, oh yeah, even his attorney from Pennsylvania is like, oh yeah, we could poke holes in that. Well, of course you can. It's only probable cause. Everybody can poke holes in it. That's what social media is doing right now. It's poking all kinds of holes in it. But guess what? The prosecution's job is to come in and fill those holes, and they're going to use everything that people say on social media, or that they know would happen. They're going to use all that to fill those holes and be like, nope, here, prove this, prove that, prove this, prove that. And I'm telling you, you don't have the order of how they were killed. You don't have there's you don't have any flow of how this house, of how things happened while he was in this house. We don't know that yet, and all the forensic evidence is going to tell us that. And that once that story comes out, it's going to be very hard for him to just be like, oh yeah, it wasn't me. Did anybody else get arrested? You can tell by them asking for the search warrants. They are in these search warrants, what they're asking for the judge, they are saying this is the guy. This is the guy. Not another guy, not him and another guy, not him and potentially another guy. It's him. Let me see. Okay. And then we were talking about, let's see. Okay, I don't even know where we left off here. Okay, it's likely that some trace evidence was transferred to the areas in his apartment through the contact. I think we read that. Location is clothes, mask, shoes. We read that. To date, we have not recovered the weapon. We read that. One likely location for the. Oh, this is based on his training that he's going to plan things in his house and not out in public. Okay, no coffee shop murder planning. These murders appear to have been planned rather than a crime that happened in a moment of conflict. I agree. I believe it likely that Kohberger planned his actions ahead of time. The plans may have included a review of other murders or violent assault, stabbing, and or cutting of people, as well as how to avoid detection after the commissions of such crimes. Details of the 1122 King Road residence is location, neighborhood, and or information about one or more of the victims. Further, based on my training and experience, criminals utilize electronic digital devices as well as paper or other media in conducting planning of crimes, just as non-criminals use various media to plan activities. Therefore, there is probable cause to believe that the digital devices were used and or are being used in furtherance of the listed crimes or to avoid detection for the listed crimes and likely contain evidence of the listed crimes. So likely to contain his planning or even something that he could have done after. Did he go back? We all know he went back the next day. Did he go inside? Did he take pictures? Sicko. Did he just go there to see if any chaos was happening yet? Okay, so he's storing digital data such as computers, digital cameras, modems, routers, external memory drives, thumb drives. Okay, same thing. GPS navigations, data stored in digital devices and media can be transferred from one device or storage media to another. Forensic experts and others will experience in retrieving and analyzing digital data. Okay, so this is back to we're gonna share the information with people that we need to share it with to get the evidence processed. Digital devices typically retain some evidence of all activity taken via the device or associated media, and as such could contain evidence of crime. Okay, same thing. For example, data, whether stored intentionally or unintentionally, can contain evidence of knowledge, intent, efforts to conceal, sell, or dispose of evidence or proceeds of criminal activity, accomplice identity, association with victims, or geographic location of the device possessor at particular dates. So they try to throw an accomplice in there. That's good. Just, I guess, maybe for the just in case, because they're not looking for anything. This information can be numerous forms such as photographs, address books, contact lists, communications with others through means such as phone calls, email, instant messaging, social media, chat sessions, digital communications. We've all heard the new rumor that came out yesterday. Well, I don't even know if it's rumor. I haven't seen any proof of it, but there's supposedly the leak that's told People magazine that Brian was messaging one of the victims 2 weeks prior, or up to 2 weeks prior, basically saying like, how you doing, or something like that. How's it going? How you doing? It went into their spam junk mail or junk messages and they never saw it. This information can be numerous from. Okay, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. I would be interested. I don't know why they wouldn't say which one if they're going to leak the info. Why wouldn't they say which one it was? But whatever. Evidence can remain on the device or the media for indefinite periods of time after communication originally took place, even if deleted by the user. Information deleted by the user may be recovered by a forensic examiner through the working lifespan of the device. Digital data can be found in numerous locations and formats. I am so not a tech person, so a lot of that is beyond my abilities. with deceptive file names. Oh, information on devices and media can be stored in random order with deceptive file names. Anybody who was any Watts people? Where's my Watts people? Secret calculator apps. Hidden from normal view, encrypted or password protected, and stored on unusual devices for the type of data such as routers, printers, scanners, game consoles, or other devices that are similarly capable of storing digital data. Wholly apart from user-generated files and data, digital devices and media typically store often without any conscious action by the user, electronic evidence pertaining to virtually all actions taken on the digital device, and often information about the geographic location in which the device was turned on and or used. Okay, so this is where it was used and what it was looking at when it was there being used. Okay, it's just a lot of the data. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. All right, let's see what you guys are up to over here. Yo, Watts people here. I know, I'm like, where's the Watts people? Everybody knows about the secret calculator app. As with other evidence, the context, location, data surrounding information is necessary to understand whether evidence falls within the scope of the warrant. This type of information will be important to the forensic examiner's ability to piece together and recognize evidence of the above listed items. Okay, same concept. Digital device programs frequently require passwords, phrases, codes, patterns, fingerprints, and or usernames to operate. Those may be kept inside a device, media, or outside in some other area known to the user. Okay, so they want all the passwords and stuff, so makes sense. The forensic examiner may also need the following items in order to conduct a thorough and accurate search of the devices. They're going to need the hardware for the computer, the software of the computer, the peripherals, the internal and external storage devices, power supplies, cables. They need the cables, internet connection, and use information, security devices, software manuals, and related material. Modern digital devices and media can contain many gigabytes and even terabytes of data due to the potential for the extremely large volume of data contained in devices and media and the fact that evidence can be stored located in unanticipated locations. Okay, I think we're just covering all of our bases with this here because it's just a lot of the same words. Peppermint patty. Let's see. Sorry, off topic, but just left town, and summer is going up in all screens, and the Texas summer is? How is that happening? I mean, I'm very happy that that's happening, but I think we're all Watts people at some point or another. I have met a few that are like, nope, I don't know anything about Watts. I'm like, oh, thank God. Sky's all Watts here. Yep. Hi, Jenny. I stumble across your channel and love it. Some channels literally shove their opinion down your throat, but you explain things in such a nice manner. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. And I'll tell you right now, everybody's opinion is welcome. We are all just discussing it, but we have to be nice to each other about it. Like, I'm not gonna have anybody telling anybody their opinion or their thoughts are ridiculous, you know? Like, not like this is a run like a Facebook group. Before I leave, they put her up. I just explained. Okay, hold on. Caffeine, cats, and crime. I think that I think they're going to have enough. I think it's going to have a lot to do with the presentation, and this case is going to come down to expert witnesses. Let's be real, because they're going to have to try to just explain things away. This is a small little fraction. At the beginning of this case, I was always say, like, we're trying to put like 1,000-piece puzzle together with like 100 pieces. Now I feel like we have like 200 pieces. We're still not, maybe even 100, maybe 250, but we're still not even close to being able to put this together. There's so much we don't know. The preliminary hearing, I do believe, will give us, you know, will put us up to maybe halfway there, 400 or 500 pieces, but we're still not going to know everything until trial, because they just have to deliver enough for them to proceed to the next step. That's kind of, it's all just in steps. So enough to get him arrested. We have to prove that we think this is him. This is why we think it's him. This is why we think that he did this. And he is the person we're saying that he is. And that's it. That's enough to get him arrested. Now, the next step is to keep him behind bars to go to trial would be your preliminary hearing, where they're going to have to just bring enough evidence, still not all evidence, enough evidence that says, yes, see, this is where we're at now. And we do believe that this person is still the person who committed these crimes. And now we're presenting that we have enough evidence to go to trial and get a conviction. And this is when the judge can say, there ain't no way that you have enough evidence to convict. Go have a nice day. Or they can say, yeah, we're going to proceed. Rainbow Mom, finally home, not a Watts person. Let's see. Don't say Watts 3 times. Don't. You just made me say it again. I don't even know how many times that is. Peppermint Patty, that is very exciting. I hope that helps. I mean, anything helps. Keeping her face out there. LFT. Hi, honey. Heather Brett, Watts is dumb as fuck too. Yep, sure is. Texas Angel doesn't know about Watts. Ava didn't dig into Watts. Yeah, and don't go back and do it. Don't go back and do it. It's never. Pepper and Patty, that's one of the reasons I had a hard time. I still pay attention to everything that happens with Summer. I just can't. I can't get involved in all of it all the time because it turned into people just flipping hating each other. And then nobody was even talking about Summer anymore. They were just fighting with each other. And it just became chaos. And I'm like, I'll just look for updates. And then Alex Erickson, I don't know if she's still in here. She got to go out there, and I was super jealous because, you can go out there and see it. And when you see things, it's you get such a different feeling. And a different perspective from a case when you're actually there and you're looking at it and you see the size of things and the distance of things. And Salty C, I'm glad we got this too. Yep. Peppermint Patty, my daughter passed away a month before Summer disappeared. Oh, Peppermint Patty, I'm sorry about your daughter. You shouldn't lose your children. That whole saying of like parents aren't supposed to bury their children. Social Butterfly. So poor Murphy was locked in that bedroom until 4 p.m. the next day, and I guess DM didn't hear him barking all night. No, because they say that this officer and Payne from the probable cause affidavit, they say they knew that Murphy was actually in the room based on Officer Nunez's body cam footage, which means that when they got there at 4 p.m., Murphy was no longer in the room. So Murphy was already removed at that point. So we know that he was there until at least noon or 12 something when other officers got there. But they said they took him in for process. They took him to the animal shelter, and then somebody had to pick him up at the animal shelter later. So do you think that they have dog hair? I think they do, or more. They wouldn't mention it. DM drives me nuts, literally. I do think that they probably have. There's there's a whole theory, and I think I've said this on here before, but there's a whole theory of in law enforcement and in criminal justice that you cannot go into a crime scene or any scene. Let's just say any scene. It's not even a crime scene, but it's just used in crime scenes. You cannot go into a crime scene and not leave something of yours behind and take something from the crime scene with you. It's Lockhart's Exchange. You have to leave something behind. You're either going to leave a fingerprint, a footprint, a hair. My nose is all itchy. Something of yours is going to be left, and you physically will take something with you. So whether you're going to take an object or you're going to take their hair. I go to my mom's house, I get her dog hair on me. If my mom comes here, she's going to get my dog hair on her. There's always an exchange. Wherever you go, you are exchanging something. And gosh forbid you actually touch anything. Then you're leaving even more. Let's see. Oh, Colorado Mountain Life. Thank you. Eerie feeling. BK's loving this. I think he's using this as a weird learning experience. He needs to be locked up if he's guilty. New evidence seems damning. I lean towards they have the right guy, and I know that we have our constitutional rights to innocent until proven guilty, but I do think they have the right guy. I don't think they just picked this guy out of the flipping blue. I don't think there's some security guy who is out there like going to set Brian up for a quadruple murder. I don't think any of that's true. I think they have the right guy. I think they're crossing their I's and dotting their T's, as backwards as that is. Because that's, for whatever reason, I keep saying it backwards. They're crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and they're going to have everything lined up. I think that they're on it. Labradoodle breeds don't shed, yes, but they do still have hair. So, and what I found out, Melmac, is he's actually a golden doodle instead of a Labradoodle. I thought he was a Labradoodle too. It's okay, don't worry about it. So they don't, but so they have hair though. So like how a human has hair, you have hair, but like dog breeds, most dog breeds have fur, and so fur is what sheds. And then you have dogs that have hair. Like I have 2 little dogs, they're schnauzers, they actually have hair. Like it's like hair, so they have to be bathed more often and brushed more often and whatnot, because that's how their hair gets greasy and everything, just like a human does. But they can still lose their hair. They just don't technically shed. So even like my dogs, I may have like a hair on me, like I would lose a hair. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It's just not as much as like dog fur shedding. Anyway, I fell in love with Murphy. Yorkies don't shed either. Yep, I have you have a Scotty? Yeah, he loses undercoat. Yep. But nothing. So like my big dog, who's a mutt, she's a mix of, I don't know, if like 50,000 things. She sheds, and that dog sheds. I mean, you're talking sheds. There's hair all over the place. I have to vacuum every single day, and she's over here like staring at me. There's constant fur everywhere. But my 2 schnauzers, I will have hair, but there's not like shedding. It's not like everywhere in the flipping house. Doodles shed, depends on the genes they inherit, and not all inherit the poodle hair coat, and some have a double coat. I'm on page 60 of a golden doodle book. No way. That's crazy. Doodles can shed depending on how much poodle they have. That's why there are so many in the shelters, because they can be allergenic and shed. Interesting. Okay, because they're the lab or golden retriever part of them is still shedding. Does that make sense? Humans shed. There are 3 phases: we grow, shed, rest. Oh, baby girl, that's just weird. We do. You think this will be a closed trial? Probably. I don't think that they're going to have cameras in there. They're going to probably make the same mistake that they made with the Vallow Daybell crap, and they're going to let cameras in there for all the other stuff, or a pulled camera even. And then come time, they're going to be like, nope, can't have it. Mellow 77, I'm allergic to the dander. And you shed skin cells all the time, especially during the winter. Yep. Mine been rested for years. Not proud of it. Was the beginning of my career. LOL, all mutts to be associated with. LOL, love all the breeds. I promise. I do. I'm just an animal lover. Even the ugly ones. Baby girl, you're a hairdresser. I totally caught onto that one. I was like, you know it. You know your stuff. Yep. Heather Bratt, that's how I am now with the big dog. She's got part lab. Part lab, part her. What was her number 1? Shoot, I can't remember. I did a DNA test on her, because you guys know I like genealogy, so I did a DNA test on her because I wanted to know what she was. Anything with fur, hair sheds. Just depends on the level. Okay, let me see if there's anything else like uber important in here before we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. Based on the foregoing information, there's probable cause to believe that the evidence the listed above exists in the below described digital devices, and that there is probable cause to seize and search those devices for the evidence of the above crimes for the date range August 21st, which is when he got pulled over. That's interesting. And on November 14th, including evidence of other accounts associated with this device, including email addresses, social media accounts, messaging app accounts, Photographs, images, videos, documents, data, read, modified, received, stored, sent, moved, deleted. Evidence of the use of the devices to conduct internet searches relating to a review of other murders or violent assaults. Okay, we talked about that. The details of the house. Information that can be used to calculate the position of the device between the above dates. This sounds very much like what she copied and pasted into hers to request the search warrant. Based on ISP investigators' view of the apartment on December 27, 2022, I know that 1630 Northeast Valley is a 3-story, multiple occupancy apartment building. They're going through with the door is white, proving that that's the door that they want to go into. Koberger has been identified as the occupant of this apartment on leasing documents obtained via subpoena as part of this investigation. Okay, so investigators have been informed via the postal inspector that Koberger is the only person receiving mail at the apartment. Based on all the above information, I conclude that there is a probability that Koberger committed the 4 murders at the King Road residence. I have probable cause to believe evidence of the crimes committed at the King Road residence will be found in his residence, located here. Based on the above information, I'm seeking the warrant, and it goes through exactly the same things: the blood or other bodily fluids, knife sheaths, any images, clothing, dark pants, dark shirts, masks, shoes with diamond patterns, trace evidence, DNA, blood, skin cells, data compilations. Okay. It's just a lot of repeated information in this. Okay, so this is where I wanted to get to. It was down here. So this is now the items that they seized from the apartment, which I found very interesting. This is, let me see. Anthony says, you want evidence to put the suspect in that house and in both rooms and on victims' bodies. Yes, and then you also want the evidence from those victims, that house, those rooms, on or in your suspect's possession. It's a pretty easy tie right there, especially if there's nobody else who could possibly have access to those items. We talked about this one time before. It's like they say like, okay, so here's his car. We have it on video, right? Okay, well, so-and-so borrowed my car. And those videos, you can't tell who's driving. Okay, great. And now it's like, they're the security guard. Now people are saying the security guard borrowed the car. And it's like, okay, well, this was your knife. We have you purchasing it, X, Y, and Z. Oh, nope, so-and-so borrowed the knife. Okay, now we have your phone. So your phone is from here to here to here to here. And he's like, well, so-and-so borrowed my phone. You could probably get away with one of those. Yep, so-and-so borrowed my car. There's no video evidence that it was me. But once you start tying all those things in, the chances of somebody who took all of those items from you, or that you let borrow all of those items at the exact same time, is going to be slimmer. Oh, they definitely, they'll have enough evidence. I actually have no doubt that they'll have enough evidence, because what we do not see is the forensic side of the house. We have no information regarding that yet. We have no information regarding that, and what we're reading through right here does not actually show us the results. We also don't know what they have from his car, which is that's numero uno in my book, is what is in that car, especially if he left that sheath behind. One of my biggest questions is, how does this guy carry out a Kabar knife that he just killed 4 people with, get in his car? What does he do with this knife? Where does it go? Where does he put it? He doesn't have a sheath to put it in. So does he set it on his lap? Does he set it on the seat? Does he put it in the center console? Where does he do with it? There's no way that he takes that Kabar knife into his car and does not leave blood evidence in that car. Impossible, in my opinion. I don't know if we'll get the car info. Sit. Come sit down. Just sit. You can just sit. You can just relax. So, you guys want to say hi to Ursa? There. She apparently wants to say hi to you guys. Okay. Ginormous dog. Sit. Sit, please. I don't want you on my lap. You're not a lap dog. Okay. I'm going might have to put you out of this room. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I know. Okay, so what they do find is one nitrate type black glove. This was interesting to me. They find one. Just one? So not a box of them, not a pair. Is it used? Is it unused? All right, hold on. I'm gonna put her out of the office because she won't stop jumping up here on top of me. Yes, CV Cal, she's huge. She's ginormous. The bigger the dog, the more lapdog they think they are. I know it. She won't. Yes, she's a puppy, but she just turned 1 on January 7th. But she does. She thinks she belongs on my lap, and it's kind of my fault because I have 2 little dogs that do get on my lap. So she's like, I'm just like them. Just let me up. And she is a sweetie pie. She's just too big, and she won't listen. She won't sit down yet. She just wants attention. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi, Britt. If the nitro glove was on top of the fridge, Shmita, I'm gonna be irritated. We already got the fire stick. Hold on, come on, Urs, let's go. You go that way. Good girl. Your dog's 135 pounds? Oh gosh, she's like 65, I think. I decided I love cats. I do love cats. I lost my kitty a year ago, almost exactly. Okay, one nitrate type black glove. One Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag. Didn't he go to Walmart on? Was it Walmart that he went to? One Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag. 2 Marshall's receipts. Dust container from Bissell Power Force vacuum. Because the guy likes to vacuum constantly. Remember his downstairs neighbor? He went to Albertsons. That's right. He went to Albertsons on that day, but caffeine, cats, and crime. I love all animals, but rescue cats are life. That's weird. Yeah, it's weird. They took 2 Marshall's receipts and 1 Walmart receipt with 1 Dickies tag. And they don't tell us the location. Like what Walmart, what Marshall's. Why is this guy shopping at Marshall's? What's he buying there? 8 possible hair strands. So is it a clump of 8? Because they also list down here possible hair. So is 8 possible hair strands one thing? What did you guys think of that? BR the Star, I was thinking the same thing, but I think he found like a wintry glove. Did he not? It was thick. And a nitro glove is like thin. Social butterfly, I think somebody brought that up the other day. I don't think I've ever actually looked into it. Ooh, sticky. I've been poking around, and I do think the Dickies tag is going to lead back to black coveralls. Just placing my bet. Oh, Miss K. Oh, that's so sad. 16 years, though. It's a nice, long, healthy life. If they found Buddy's hair, oh gosh. Better shopping in Idaho, yeah. But yet the next day he's shopping in Washington, wasn't he? I didn't know there was a Marshall's in Pullman. I'm curious if that Marshall's, there's a Walmart close to the girl's house, right? So does that mean that is there a Marshall's close to the girl's house? What store was it? What store was it that they said that they found the guy that was quote unquote stalking Kaylee, that thought he was just going to hit on her at the store? Did they ever tell us what store that was? Do you remember? Yeah, I want to know what he was buying at Marshall's. Has to be clothing. That's the only thing I can think of is the clothing, like dark clothing. Or they're taking the receipts to get to get probable cause to get search warrants for any type of surveillance from Marshalls and Walmart. That could be another thing, so they can see what he did buy, like what color it was. So like if it says like bought a shirt, like maybe they can go in and see what color shirt, you know. They also sell the masks that go over everything but your eyes at Dick's Sporting Goods, Marshalls, and Lewiston. Could have bought shoes. I don't think Marshalls or Walmart sells Vans though. Black Carhartts. Ah, that's interesting. Idaho doesn't have sales tax, so the shopping would be better. No way says they can scan the receipt and maybe tell. Yep. Never heard the store name, but I miss a lot due to womb gremlins. Do you guys remember if they ever told us what store that Kaylee actually supposedly had that stalker from? The one that was supposedly just asking her on a date, but then... Oh, I wonder if we know that. Okay, so... and then I'm also curious about this 8 possible hairs. So I'm thinking this has to be one item. 8 possible hairs found together. The Fire Stick with cord and plug. The Fire TV stick. That's the other people are comparing to Watts because there's another Fire Stick. But I think that Troy probably has an alibi. Anybody who knows Watts knows what I'm saying. 1 possible animal hair strand. 1 possible hair. 1 possible hair. 1 possible hair. 1 possible hair strand. Interesting wording, right? 1 possible hair versus 1 possible hair strand. Salty C, did you just gift memberships? Did Salty C gift memberships? Hi, MJ. Salty C, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for gifting memberships. You rock. Heather Brown, I'd love to be able to explain hair. Let's see if we can Google it. Let's see what Google says. Because I don't know what the 1 possible hair versus 1 hair versus hair strand. Does one have a follicle and one not? Where's baby girl? She's a hairdresser. Baby girl, where you at? A strand has the root. Okay, so that's what I was thinking too. C-Dub, is that legit? They do? Really? They record? I didn't know that Fire Sticks recorded like Alexas do. That's creepy. Allegedly with Brittany. Baby girl says, maybe hair was not a full piece and a hair strand is a full piece. Yeah, okay, I'm going with that too. That makes a lot more sense. That it probably has, because you can get DNA from both. It's just different testing that's done. Okay, so 1 computer tower. 1, is that 1? 1 collection of dark red spot collected without testing. So we don't know if that's blood. 1 collection of a dark red spot, and we don't know where it's from. So let's see. I said a piece like the whole strand. That's what I'm thinking is like that. Yeah, like one's like a whole strand is the one that has like the root and everything else, and actually has like the black nitrile gloves. I don't know. I know around here you could have purchased them all over the place when during COVID, because there was black, blue, anything. Greg says sales tax in both Washington and Idaho. Washington and Idaho. Washington doesn't charge sales tax for food. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, I'll look at that. Black ones are thicker. Yep. My husband would prefer the black ones. Go ahead, baby. You can get ice.
2.
Oh yeah, looks nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. My daughter just walked in. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we got the computer tower. We got a collection. Okay, so we got the one collection of dark red spot collected without testing. So they saw a dark spot and they took it, but we don't know what it's from or if it was even blood or not. The next one is 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow of a reddish brown stain. 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow of reddish brown stain. Larger stain was tested, but we don't know the result. We don't know if the result came back that it was positive for blood or not. But they did take it, but they didn't test the smaller one yet. And the pillow didn't have a pillowcase. That's interesting to me. So did he get rid of the pillowcase because it had blood on it? Or did he just sleep with no pillowcases? Like a lunatic. You're freezing. I don't want you to touch me. 2 top and bottom of mattress cover. 2 top and bottom. Okay, so it's the top and the bottom of a mattress cover packaged separately. Both labeled C. Multiple stains, 1 tested. A mattress cover, a top and bottom mattress cover? You guys have a bottom mattress cover? I've never even heard that. Hi, Jordan. Oregon has no sales tax. Idaho has a lesser sales tax. Yeah, I don't want anything that's recording everything I do in my house. It's just creepy. Do I think that Brian was good enough with technology to hack into their computers and watch them from the inside? I honestly have no idea what his technology background is at all, what he's able to do in technology or not. I can tell you just because he's going for a PhD doesn't mean that he knows everything about technology. So all the piercers and tattoo artists use black nitrile gloves. Yes, they do. Because they're badass. They don't want to use no blue ones. Yeah, I don't. You have a Shelly. You have a bottom comforter and sheet, but it says a mattress cover, a mattress top and bottom mattress cover. We only have the top, like a mattress, like a mattress protector. We have like a mattress cover, and then we have our like a fitted sheet. You know what I mean? Hi, Mez. He may have used the pillowcase to put stuff in instead of a bag. I use a sheet from my box spring. Wait, I've never heard of a bottom mattress cover. I suspect that the pillow stain is a previous nighttime nosebleed. Yeah, I'm very curious about that. But then I'm also curious about why it doesn't have a pillowcase. You can get nitrile gloves at Walmart. Yep, that's true. Hi, Eris. I don't know how people can sleep without pillowcases or sheets. Okay, so I do not have, I have a fitted sheet, and I do not, we've had this, I think, Brittany, was this on your channel that we talked about this? I have a fitted sheet, but I do not use a top sheet. I buy only fitted sheets. Like, you could buy them individually, and I only have my fitted sheet, and then I have a comforter. I don't think that he would keep anything that has evidence. Yeah, but Britt, would you think that the guy's going to go ahead and leave his sheath with his DNA on it at the crime scene? That's why I have no smart devices at all. The CIA doesn't need to see me just sitting here in my PJs eating Cheetos. They have not earned that right, Sticky. They have not earned that right to see that. No, but I do think it's possible he put cameras somewhere outside. That's possible. I think that he liked to. I think he liked to sit there and watch, though. My son could log on to anyone's Wi-Fi in about 2 minutes. Stan's face. Let's see. Aiden Fucci's mom got herself in trouble for an in-house camera, remember? Yep. Yep. A dust ruffle? Think this dude has a dust ruffle but no pillowcases? You can buy box spring covers. Oh. I guess maybe. I have a mattress top and then a cover all around it. So you have two, basically. Because you have a topper, like a mattress topper. Mattress cover. Top and bottom of mattress cover packaged separately. And why did they label them C? And why did they distinguish that those were labeled C? And they had multiple stains. Yuck. Yuck. I'm not even going to say anything else. I'm just going to say that's yuck. And then they labeled it C. Was it a guy that wrote that? Maybe. Probably was. Oh, this is Dawn Daniels, and that I think that Dawn is only female. That's like the female version of Dawn. So I think it might actually be a female that wrote it, or she signed off on it anyway. Let's see. Hi, Jeannie. Did you cook something good? Tell me something good. If you play with fire, you'll wet the bed. Maybe it works with unaliving too. He will face the death penalty. Sorry, they got him. Yeah, I think so too. But my thought process is that if when they release discovery to his attorneys and they actually announce they're going to go for the death penalty, I think things may change a little bit. The one glove is weird. I know, that's what I was thinking too. Like, where's the other glove? Where's the box of gloves? You know what I mean? I got so far behind in chat somehow. What the heck did I do? Evil demon Brian is not human. No. I think that sometimes people that want to commit crimes like this do it because they're trying to find out how to feel emotionally or how to like get an emotional reaction. And if you take those old posts that he supposedly made when he was a teenager about how he doesn't feel things, it does kind of go to explain like where his mentality was headed. Like they want to try to feel something, you know. There's other people who've been killers that have said like it's the only time they've ever felt anything. Fun fact, millennials and younger have moved away from using a sheet. Fitted sheets and comforters only now. Is that is that legit? I'm not, okay, well, I'm not a millennial. What am I, a Gen X? I think that's what it is. I'm the one before a millennial. T, I sent a pic in our chat. Okay, let me pull it up. See, that's like a bed skirt. I just can't see this dude having a bed skirt. Then like bed skirts go out in like the 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, Mellow77, thank you. I hate top sheets. They're just a waste. All they do is end up at the bottom of the bed. They're just good for like keeping your feet warm at the end of the night. I'm 38, don't sleep with the top sheet. Oh, shoot, what did I just hit? Get out of that. There you go. Yeah, I think he likes I don't think that he wants it from camera. I think that he likes the physical part of it. But that, who knows? I'm not an expert. I can't tell you that. They have wraps and bags now for platform beds. I'm assuming he had some type of wrap. Like, you know, maybe a waterproof thing. I have no idea. I could see his mom putting a bed skirt on and moving him in. Oh, Elizabeth. God, you could very well be right. Indicated he was OCD, so he may have had zippered hypoallergenic mattress and or box spring enclosure. That's possible. He could have had something like that. Hi, Jeanette. They watched him clean his car allegedly, so I wonder if they collected that evidence. Well, there was the one article, the one article that came out that said that he had thrown away trash that was connected to the crimes. I never found that to be proven or legit, because sometimes they like to add their own things into the articles, but I did read that in one of the articles. It's always interesting, like when the truth actually comes out, to find out if these people truly had some type of inside source or if they just kind of added their own little mini narrative as they wrote the article, Need to buy some elastic and turn all those top sheets into fitted. The only thing that surprises me about people not having top sheets and only fitted sheets is fitted sheets are a pain in the ass to fold. And there's no way millennials are going to learn to fold a fitted sheet. Hi, Jaded. I'm 38. Don't sleep with a top sheet. Fitted and cozy comforter. That's right. That's all I got. I got a mattress cover, my fitted sheet, and my comforter, which changes throughout the season. I have my winter one and my summer one. The Millennial Fact was an actual news article. That's actually kind of funny. Oh, BR the star. Oh, I'm not even highlighting that. They don't fold them. No, they don't fold them. All right. So what do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think that any of this is going to come to fruition with any actual value, like evidential value? I'm interested in the black glove. The receipts have me curious on what he was buying. The amount of hairs and the possible animal hair strand. And they have the computer tower. You have any idea how many pages of discovery are going to come from just that one piece of evidence? The computer tower. I mean, we went through and we were reading some of the crazy crap that they were asking for in like the digital evidence, and it was a ton. So just imagine this is what I said. The trial's going to come down to expert stuff. Did somebody else look it up on your computer? Who else is allowed in your apartment? That's the kind of crap you're going to hear. And then you're going to hear all these super technical terms that people don't understand, and then the jury's not going to listen. That was one of the things, Muffy! That was one of the things that they actually said, some of the jurors said in the Casey Anthony trial, was that the experts, especially the bug experts, the endo, what are they? I'm trying to think of the name now. And I can't even think of their name. The bug guys, they came in to talk about the blowflies and the stages of life, and they said that the jurors said they just didn't understand what they were saying, so they just kind of stopped listening. Yeah, Peppermint Patty, I agree. I think that they're going to have a ton. We only see a tiny, tiny bit of it. All right, let me check and see if there's anything else. Anything else? Oh, you're welcome, True Crime Crazy. Any updates on Monkey? Peppermint Patty? No. As crazy as that is, I thought we'd have more updates on Monkey. There's none. And not an endocrinologist. That's an endocrinologist is the person for like blood disorders or something. Not blood, but like thyroid and diabetes. No, the end of, oh my gosh. The bug guy, like from CSI. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody knows the damn name of what they are. Let me look and see if we got confirmation about Athena. Not before I came live. No, we hadn't. Not an exterminator. Hold on. The bug experts. The entomologist. The entomologist. Thank you, Jacqueline. See, I just got it. I just got it right there. Hi, JPO. Entomologist. Entomology. Yes. The bug experts. You guys are silly. Okay, let me look and see if we have an update on Athena. It's funny. Simply Stranger on Twitter is saying the same thing. Why did they want the Walmart receipt for the Dickies and the 2 for Marshalls? Athena. "31 minutes ago, NBC News." This looks like yesterday's article, though. It's today's. Talks about the affidavit. Talks about what she says he did, which I'm not convinced. Not convinced that she's telling the truth. I don't see anything. You guys see anything? I don't see anything. I'm going to double check over here real quick, though, before we get off. I'm still seeing that they won't confirm. Just child remains still. They're not confirmed. 11 hours ago, 7 hours ago. No confirmation from what I can see. All right. Well, Christine always gets mad at me for not playing the outro, but I don't even know where the outro is. She always does it. So we're going to see if we can find it so that we can make her happy. And yeah, I don't have any idea. I don't even see it. Christine's going to have to, maybe I just don't have it. I don't see it. She plays it, but I don't even know where it is. But anyway, all right, we're going to end it my way. Salty C, thank you. Thank you for always supporting me and always being such a good cheerleader and just tell me that I can do anything. Thank you, Jeannie. All right, let me see. I think that's all. That's everything. I think we covered everything that we possibly could. There was a lot of repeated info, but it was still good to kind of go over again. Thank you guys for being here. I know I always tell you guys that there's 1,000 other places you guys could be and choose to spend your time, and you choose to spend it here with me and listening to these cases and caring about these victims. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate each and every one of you for being here and for just giving me a chance to hang out with you all. I thank you, Wrenches. Thank you, members. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Salty, for gifting memberships. Just thank you guys for having such a cool conversation and just always being so kind to each other. It's very appreciated. And we will see you when we get any more updates on some of these cases. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.